clearly taking some inspiration from things like The White Lotus, Knives Out, the recent Agatha Christie Poirot movies. Hulu brings us Death and Other Details, starring Mandy Patinkin. Let's talk about it. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my TV review for the new Hulu series, Death and Other Details. Now, this has already been canceled, so this is a one season and done. But with a mystery show like this, you know at least that it wraps up after the season, because theoretically, if it were to move on to another season, it would be a different mystery, the same detective moving on, kind of like all of these shows sort of are. But, so at least you know that, yes, it's been canceled, but it is not open-ended. It wraps up the mystery of this season. So you can take that for what it's worth. But before we launch into the specifics of the show and my thoughts on it, let me welcome you into Dan Reviews It. Thank you for finding this video. We've got movie and TV reviews here on the channel, and just about every day I post something new. So there's always a lot to check out. With that in mind, please consider subscribing. Click that like button, comment below. All of those things, of course, help the channel out greatly. And check out the playlist on the homepage, too. I think that'll make your experience a little bit easier rather than wading through the hundreds of reviews that I have up. You'll be able to find what you're looking for, I think, a little bit easier there. All right, so Death and Other Details. Like I mentioned, this is very highly inspired by The White Lotus, one of the most successful shows of the last few years, obviously cleaning up at the Emmys and the Golden Globes, and just, ratings-wise, a big hit. But also some movie series as well, the Knives Out series and the Agatha Christie Poirot movies with Kenneth Branagh lately. I would say Only Murders in the Building, but the hook of this, much like things like The White Lotus, is that it's all about rich people. Only Murders in the Building is definitely more sort of, blue collar, middle class, whatever. So those are clearly the inspirations here. But I will say this is an original piece, much like Knives Out. This is not based on any other work or anything. I mean, other than the things I mentioned, sort of taking inspiration. But, the mystery itself is new. And this takes place aboard the SS Varuna. And we have Violet Bean as Imogen Scott here. She is sort of the main, protagonist, I guess, other than the detective. Well, I can't say she's a protagonist because we don't know really much about her background either. But Mandy Patinkin plays the gruff detective who was once known as the most successful detective in the world or whatever. And so now he's not necessarily retired maybe, but hasn't done a lot lately with the detective work. But now, he stumbles across this huge mystery while aboard the cruise. And it's a little bit like Kenneth Branagh's character in the Agatha Christie movies in that respect too, because he actually was retired in the most recent one, and then they brought him back. But yeah, this guy still acts as a detective and sort of stumbled across this murder here. But not a ton of people on the ship in the main cast that I recognize: Lauren Patton, Rahul Kohli, Hugo Diego Garcia, Linda Edmond. I don't really know them, but some of the recurring characters that appear sporadically, we do know. Jerry Burns has been, on TV and movies for years. Jack Cutmore Scott, who currently is on the Frasier reboot, he was in this. So there's a few people you may recognize. Look, this is not really a radically different show from The White Lotus, except for, I think the writing is not quite as sharp. The characters aren't quite as compelling. I mean, look, none of the characters on either show are technically, really that likable, right? This is all about sort of the one percenters and, they just think they're better than everybody and blah, blah, blah. Sure, I get that. And, maybe this show has some interesting things to say about that, but is it anything that hasn't been said before, in things like this? Or even there was a movie that got Oscar nominated for Best Picture a few years ago, Triangle of Sadness. That wasn't a murder mystery, but, definitely sort of jabbed at that 1% and took place on a cruise ship partially. So, there's maybe some things there too, that you could kind of compare and contrast. The main reason I would say to watch this would be from Mandy Patinkin. He's been one of our most revered actors for decades. People talk about him, in Princess Bride or whatever, but I think he has such a rich history of, both Broadway performances and movies and shows. But he kind of goes unnoticed. He doesn't really get a lot of awards or whatever. But Mandy Patinkin is great. I don't think there's anybody around that really doesn't like him, as an actor. And so he is the glue, certainly, that holds this all together. He's very, very interesting with his interviews, with the people and whatever. But this show also takes into account the idea of sort of I don't know if you'd call it the unreliable narrator, or just that people have faulty memories, or are they lying? That's sort of walking that line of, okay, well, they're certainly telling you something that definitely didn't happen, but did they know that it didn't happen? Are they remembering it wrong? Or are they just straight up lying? There's definitely some attacks of that, where it does make it a little more interesting. But look, on the whole, I think this mystery is not as compelling as things like The White Lotus. Isn't there another Hulu show, Nine Perfect Strangers? I didn't get through that one, but that's another mystery too, right? With Melissa McCarthy, and I think Nicole Kidman is in that. So that, also very rich people again. That seems to be a common theme, which is fine. Look, I'm far, far, far removed from that. So, if we want to poke fun at that, and their lifestyle, and okay, sure, I'm on board for that. But I think stretching it out for a full show like this, I mean, this could have been, a 2.5 hour Knives Out type of movie, and I think maybe would have worked better. However, it is kind of a bummer about no second season, because I do like the Mandy Patinkin character, as this gruff detective. So it might have been nice to see more of him, but as it is now, I think this show is okay. It's certainly watchable if you really love, sort of the long form mystery thing. I will leave Death and Other Details with a C+, sort of just hovering right over the average there. All right, thank you for watching Dan Reviews It. We'll see you next time. Bye.